All right, so Oppenheimer came out the other day. So I reviewed it yesterday. So today, or maybe tomorrow when you're watching this video, I'm going to rank all of the Nolan movies that I've seen. He's my favorite director, so it's pretty weird that I haven't seen 4 of his movies. But let's just start talking about it. I would normally have like an S plus tier, but for this is kind of just going to be based on Christopher Nolan and not really like other full, like not really movies as a whole. So if I put a movie in like C tier or something, doesn't mean I think it's a C. C is probably like good tier, but just for Christopher Nolan, it's more of a C movie. So yeah, let's just start talking. Batman Begins, that's an A. It's a great origin story. It's so entertaining and has some of the best chemistry between the characters. I mean, just seeing like Bruce Wayne as a child and then becoming Batman, the origin story, his the back and forth with Ra's al Ghul. It's so just entertaining, and also it's sometimes even riveting, and just the final like act of the movie, like people say it falls into generic superhero territory. I completely disagree because the first 2 acts of the movie set up this world in a really different way than other superhero movies, and then it pays off. It really pays off at the end. So I love Batman Begins. I think it's a great origin story. Dunkirk, that's a C. Listen, it's not like a terrible movie. I think it's a good movie in general. I just like the experience of watching it was great, but I don't even know if I don't think the movie was great. I feel like it wasn't a memorable experience for me. It wasn't as memorable of an experience for me to put it above C. So I think that feels good for Dunkirk. It's not that I don't like war movies because I love a bunch of other war movies. Inception, that's an easy S. One of my favorite movies ever made. So many things about it. I mean, it's incredible. Like the dream aspect, like going into a dream, then another dream, and then another dream, and then another dream, and then another dream, and then having to come back out of those, and then basically coming back to the same place you were at the beginning of the movie. It's such an exciting journey, but it's also so simple, as you could tell. And also, I don't know why people think that Inception is confusing. I don't think it's confusing at all, because maybe it's because I went into it thinking it was going to be the most confusing movie in the world, but it was not. Like, it genuinely wasn't. It was actually kind of like simple. It was kind of straightforward, and it's one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. The score, Hans Zimmer, oh my god, just insane. It's so good. Interstellar, A. I don't know. Interstellar, it's one of my it's I think it's one of Nolan's best movies because it's easily one of the most emotional, and just Matthew McConaughey, his performance, just seeing his kids grow up in front of him and then him getting all emotional, that scene, oh my god. But so many other things, like the visuals, the fact that like the no CGI thing about it, just like it, the concept, the plot is really, really interesting, and I would say it's probably the most confusing movie I've seen from his. I think Tenet is probably the most confusing, apparently, but from the ones I've seen, I think it's the most confusing, but I don't really care because it's beautiful, entertaining, and exciting, and just so interesting. So I love Interstellar. And then the next one is the reason I'm making this video, Oppenheimer. And this one is actually a really, really hard one because I feel like Inception and another movie that we're going to talk about like literally like really, really soon is on the S tier, and they're two of my favorite movies of all time. Like when I say that, I mean like top 5, top 3. So Oppenheimer, while it's in my top 30 probably movies of all time, and it's my favorite movie of the year, the only 5-star movie I've given all year, I also feel like I can't quite put it on the same tier as The Dark Knight and Inception, but we're going to do some flip-flops in this ranking. So for now, I'm going to put in Oppenheimer in the A tier, but oh my god, it's the closest to S tier I think I've ever put a movie in. I just can't put it on the same tier as Inception and the next movie we're talking about, The Dark Knight, which I'm gonna also put on the S tier. But let's just talk about Oppenheimer first. It's it's the best movie of the year. It's so exciting, but also riveting. It's too hard to explain because it's so just masterful. It's masterful dialogue, a masterful screenplay. It's pitch perfect, and I love it. I love it so much. And Ludwig Göransson's score mixed with the visual scheme of it and the sound design. Christopher Nolan sometimes has a problem with that, but here it's really good. And so many things like the actors, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, just like so many actors that I didn't even know were in this. And then there's like Matt Damon, so good. So many actors, so good. The cast here is amazing. Everything. I love Oppenheimer. And The Dark Knight used to be my favorite movie of all time. It's now my third favorite, but that's not me saying I don't like it, because I literally rewatched it the other day, and I'm just still speechless even thinking about The Dark Knight. It's Christopher Nolan's crowning achievement. It's in superhero movies. It's the crowning achievement in superhero movies, and maybe in filmmaking, in villains, because Heath Ledger's Joker. Oh my God! And I feel like even trying to start talking about this movie is just, it's offensive. So I'm just not going to talk about it. The Dark Knight Rises. You're going an A, mate. Like, oh my God, I do not know why this movie is hated on so much. I rewatched it yesterday, right before going to Oppenheimer. Before going to tennis, then going to Oppenheimer. But like, oh my God, it's so riveting and entertaining and incredible. Like, it's I don't even know if it's like maybe it's not the most well-made movie of the trilogy, but I don't care, because the movie is so entertaining. It's so just like, I don't know. It's just like the rising from the pit scene. That's all I'll say with the score. Oh my God, maybe the best Batman score. I think the Batman, like the movie The Batman, has a better score. Score. But yeah, maybe you can kill me for saying that, but I stand by it. The Prestige, it's gonna go in B. I think Prestige is a great movie, but if I look at like the A tier, I don't know if I can quite put it on the level of some of those movies, but still, I think The Prestige is a really great movie. It's known as Christopher Nolan's magic trick. Haha, so funny. But, I mean, it kind of is. You see, like, the different layers to all of these characters that are in the movie, and then the final twists and turns. Oh my God, some of the best of all time. But now it's time to rank these movies from the worst to the best. Or maybe the least best to the best. At the bottom is Dunkirk at number 12. At number 11, The Prestige. At number 10, I'm gonna go Batman Begins. It's a great origin, but I prefer these three above it. Then I would probably have to go. Ooh, that's tough. I have to go The Dark Knight Rises right above that, followed by Interstellar at number 4, and then Oppenheimer at number 3. Again, super close to that S tier. But on the S tier, I have to put The Dark Knight Rises. What the heck? The Dark Knight above Inception. There's two spots. If I had to make a favorites list, The Dark Knight's number 3 and Inception's number 5. So, yeah, that's basically my list. Let me know your list down in the comments. Again, I haven't seen all of them, so I'm really interested to see what I think of these. And whenever Christopher Nolan has a new movie and they do this, I'm hopefully going to be able to see those. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Christopher Nolan, you're the GOAT, man. You're the GOAT.